asked you about some issues when you were a student.
Yeah, so I have really, really bad concentration and also procrastination. And those two don't go very well hand in hand together. So now as an adult, I'm much better at studying. And I recently did a master's course as well. So revisiting education as an adult was quite nice because I kind of came at it using a lot of the skills that I used when I teach my students. So I had I'm a much better student now than I used to be.
Wow, so it's just like when you're a teacher and you're using all of your experience to help your students.
Yeah, and they teach me stuff as well, which I think is the kind of, for me, what I love about education is that I learn as much from my students as they probably learn from myself. And the great thing about education as well is like before I teach my students, I study myself. And through teaching certain ideas, it gives me a better understanding. So like teaching is the best form of learning, which is great if you're a teacher because it means that you're learning all of the time. And I guess it kind of just goes back into the whole learning environment circle. Yeah. So yeah.
But let's admit that we are all procrastinating. We've all been there.
Yeah, especially now as well. So now that we don't have separate places for study and relaxing, they kind of seep into each other. So sometimes, sometimes if we have two different places, this place is for studying, this place is for relaxing. And then when you kind of merge those together, as we've been doing during COVID, you're not fully focused on either. And it kind of blends into this weird mixture of like, I'm kind of studying, but I'm also in my pajamas, eating popcorn, slightly watching Squid Game on TV. So there's, it makes it a little bit more difficult to get into the right mindset with focusing.
I totally agree. That is, I think, one of the underlying reasons of procrastination, especially in this day and age when the pandemic. It's really hard for the student to stay focused when they're self-learning. The problem here is that for me as a student, when I was a student in college and also in high school and primary school, we were so afraid to ask teacher the questions because we were afraid to be judged. Like, I may be saying something wrong and others might be laughing at me. So it's all about when we feel like we are lacking the critical thinking skills and also it's just affecting the self-study. Yeah. So how can we get over that problem?
So I guess it's kind of acknowledging that when you step into a classroom, everybody is there to learn. And so it's quite a safe environment for you to ask these questions. If you have a good teacher, and I'm sure many people at home do, your teacher will never be annoyed if you ask an honest question that attempts to, expand on something, or if there's something you don't quite understand. So the first step really is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, in the sense that it's okay not to understand everything. It's okay that other people learn it quicker than you do. You have to understand that you study at your own pace and become, over time, more equipped with ways that work for yourself in learning. So the ability to question things is really important because you need to ask yourself, do I really understand this, or am I just ticking this off so I can move on to the next thing? So it kind of all plays into the ability to teach yourself in some ways.